Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2004 Jean-Claude Van Damme action film Wake of Death. The film is directed by Philippe Martinez and stars, of course, Jean-Claude Van Damme, as well as Simon Yam, Philip Tan and Tony Schiena. Right. Okay, the film focuses on Van Damme's character Ben Archer, who is some kind of club enforcer, I think, who is quitting his job. He wants to be a family man. He's got a wife and a young son. His wife's a social worker. And this one particular night, she takes home a refugee, a little Chinese girl refugee that she feels sorry for. However, what she doesn't realize is this is the daughter of a vicious Chinese Yakuza leader, and he wants the child back, and he doesn't like the fact that this white woman has been anywhere near his child, so he brutally murders anyone involved with taking his child, including Van Damme's wife. This then sets Van Damme on a mission of revenge in order to find out who killed his wife and destroy them. Right, what are my thoughts on Wake of Death? Long time since I've seen this one. Again, this is one that I remember at the time when I watched it, I wasn't massively impressed with it the first time round. After rewatching it after all these years, probably 20 years, I think what we've got actually here is a pretty solid Van Damme outing for this period in his career. This came out in 2004, so he was well into his straight to DVD releases by this point, if you like. Not many cinema releases, but that's not to say that this doesn't have some strong production values, because it does. And now and again there are some moments where some of the budget kind of lets it down, but one thing you can't criticize this film for is like the action scenes and the stunts. I think they're all done exceptionally well here. Really strong standard. And we've got a fairly simple story that occasionally threatens to over-convolute itself. I mean, this really is a revenge tale. You know, Van Damme taking his revenge out on those who've killed his wife. But like I say, it kind of threatens to. Early on, the narrative is really poorly put together. It starts off a bit strangely with like this car chase, and then you've got, when the titles are coming on, you've got this uncomfortable sex scene between this Yakuza leader, whoever he is, and then he murders the woman he's just, slept with, and then you've got to kind of put the pieces together. It all makes sense in the end, but the first 10 minutes or so, you're kind of like, what's going on? I can't make head or tail of what's happening here. And it doesn't do a great job of establishing Van Damme in the job he does now, which is some kind of doorman, I guess, for the mob, maybe. And his relationship with his wife and son. You barely get any scenes of that, really, establishing this family. So when he is supposed to be devastated by his wife's death, and to be fair, we could have done without that scene with him, with his tears and stuff, because, he ain't Robert De Niro, is he? I didn't feel the loss in particular. All I kept thinking is, right, okay, let's get some ass kicking done, shall we, here? You get the impression that Van Damme's character in this Ben Archer, is a real badass, but you're not sure why. Because I don't feel like they flesh his character out enough here. We just accept it because he's Van Damme. A little bit more character development, I think, would have gone a long way here, and a bit, it would have really maybe fleshed out this story a little bit. There is some actually quite brutal action in this. It's pretty hard hitting stuff, and it's it's not like long, fancy fight scenes like in some of his films, with lots of flip kicks and all this kind of stuff. It's the fight scenes were surprisingly short but quite brutal at times. As if to say, you know, this isn't showing off. This is him absolutely just plowing through these people to kind of get where he needs to be and kill who he needs to. So they're done pretty well, I think. The action scenes here, I was pretty engaged throughout, and there's a really brutal torture scene in this film. When they've got this guy who Van Damme believes knows where the person is who killed his wife, and he leaves him in the hands of like these mob people who torture him. But they proper torture him. This is not like it's a bit like that scene from GTA 5, the torture scene with Trevor, but dialed it up even more a little bit. It was pretty hard hitting stuff. I have to say, and I wasn't expecting that. And it's got a pretty strong conclusion to the film as well, where showdown on this boat. However, you was hoping for a final confrontation between Van Damme and this person who killed his wife, this San Quan, I believe it were called. And you do get to see earlier in the film a scene of this San Quan like practicing his martial arts and stuff. So he's clearly a martial artist. So you were thinking you were going to get a real showdown at the end, and you don't get it. It's very disappointing in that sense. So it was a little bit of an anticlimax, the ending, but it was still, decently put together and certainly for the most part entertaining here. And this is Van Damme doing what he does best here. It's got some slick action scenes. It's got some good driving action scenes in it as well. There's one with the motorbike chase that's done very well, and a car chase as well that I think is done very well. With some big explosions and stuff. So it's kind of what you expect from Van Damme. It's done well. He's not asked to do a great deal in regards to the acting department, apart from a couple of dodgy scenes where he's mourning the loss of his wife. But beyond that, it's pretty decent, this one, I must say. I don't remember an awful lot about it watching it first time round. But yeah, I would watch this again. And if you haven't seen this and you're a fan of Van Damme, check it out. It's pretty decent. It's better than certainly some of his he's done, certainly in the last 5 to 10 years anyway. So yeah. I quite enjoyed checking this one out. I've got some more suggestions. After I reviewed Legionnaire recently, I got some suggestions in the comments for Van Damme films to review, and this was one of them. So you guys, if you've got any suggestions, fire them in the comments, and I will line them up and review them if I haven't done already. So thanks very much for checking this review out, guys. I shall see you very, very soon.